What's good, my family? This is your boy with ZTV, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has had a nice Merry Christmas. And I want to start off by just saying I'm wishing everybody a happy and healthy 2023 from me to you. Wishing everybody's family well and safe. I hope next year brings you better luck than this year did. No, I just pray many blessings upon your life. And before I end out this year, I just want to do a quick review of a show that I've grown to like, and that's this Tekken Bloodline. Now I am a Tekken fan. I've been playing it since the PS1 days, and this Tekken is very sentimental to me because this particular Tekken was based on Tekken 3, the third King of Iron Fist tournament, which was the very first Tekken game to actually played. I'm not gonna lie. True story. Before I continue on, I remember getting this game when it very first came out. This was back around, I'm gonna say 97, around 97, 98. It was released from arcades because back then arcade machine came out first. Then the video game came out. You get the arcade, then the home port. So I wound up getting this home ported for the PS1. And let me tell you, that was one of the funnest times of my life. This Tekken 3, this fighting game was like revolutionary at the time. It was like the best of its kind, especially in those 3D graphics. And me and my cousin Tony, we wind up getting it around the same exact time. I remember because my dad had got me Tekken 3. He also got me NBA Live 98. And I remember spending the night over my cousin Tony's house. This is around, I believe, this was before, it might have been either Christmas or it might have been Thanksgiving. One of those months. I remember it was I wound up going into Corona where my uncle Anthony and Deborah was staying at, and I think I was spending the night over there. And I remember yeah, and I remember I don't know, yeah, it might have been Easter, it might have been one of those months, but anyways, I remember when we Aunt Deborah took us to Best Buy. It was me, my cousin Tony, Audrina, and my cousin Becky at the time. When her mom was still married to my Uncle Barry, and then we wound up going to Best Buy. And we wound up picking this game like fresh out the box. So I remember him playing it, and the very first character he played was King. This character here. Now he didn't use the I think he used the alternate. He used the King that had the blue shirt, his training clothes on, but yeah. Very first character he played with, beating the game, and it was cool. The monologue, everything was cool. So yeah, this Tekken is the Tekken I've played. I didn't play Tekken 1 and 2 until later on, when I was able to find it, because I was into a lot of other games at the time. Because PlayStation had a lot of, PS1 had a lot of stuff. But yeah, I remember just Tekken was just my above all favorite game. So anyway, so I'm just get to this review, and Tekken Bloodline is definitely based on the third King of Iron Fist tournament. Now, I would suggest before you watch this series, watch the original Tekken motion picture. Watch the original Tekken movie, the first Tekken movie. Watch that one. Not even the live action one, because the first Tekken movie was a cartoon. That was based on Tekken's 1 and 2. The first Tekken movie was based on Jin's father, Kazuya Mishima. Watch that one. That's how he actually defeated Heihachi. And they gotta go. They start the island. They gotta make it to the tower. Yeah, that has all the characters from Tekken 2 and Tekken 1. Watch that one. But this series overall was good for the most part. I like the storyline. I like how it's the plot and how it began, because it started off with June raising her son Jin, and June was a previous contestant in that in the previous King of Iron Fist, but her and Kazuya had found love. Now I wish they would have had something explaining them to. But yeah, yeah, that's how it starts off. It starts off with Jun raising her son Jin. Now Jin is like 16 at the time. He's a young man. I mean, this is right after this is like years after the events of Tekken 2 ended. You know, Heihachi is he still got the Mishima Zaibatsu. That's still going. And it's based on this guy here, Orger. Orger, which is pretty much a some type of alien Aztec god or Mayan, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, it's Ogre. And Ogre is pretty much going around basically killing the world's most strongest fighters. So Ogre has actually previously killed some of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2 fighters. He badly injured Harong's trainer Bektosa. Everybody thought he was dead. I think he kills the original king. This king is pretty much the replacement king. He's his master or his trainer was the one from Tekken 2. Ogre killed him. He also killed Bruce Irving, the kickboxer. And I believe, yeah, he killed at least about 3 or 4 of those fighters. And then he made it to Jun. So pretty much the first episode starts off with Jun facing the Ogre, but having to sacrifice herself just so Jin can stay alive. And she badly damages Org in the process. So this is all about Jin pretty much training under Heihachi, his grandfather. And see, this is the thing. His grandfather wants him to draw out that devil gene. And this is when Kazuha was thought to be dead. Heihachi had already defeated Kazuha and threw him into the I think he got defeated already. Yeah, this is when he got defeated. He had already been defeated and thrown into that volcano. But Heihachi knew that Kazuha had that devil gene, and he actually wants it. That's what this was really about. He wanted Jin to activate that devil gene. He wanted him to draw out Org, because Org is a devil too. Org was only attracted to the devil gene, which he was looking for. So he wanted to Jin to draw out Org so he could extract Org's organs and use for himself. Because see, Heihachi never got the devil gene at all. It skipped him and went to his son. And shouts out to History Behind the Warrior. Shouts out to that channel. If you want more information, I suggest go subscribe to that channel, because he breaks it all down. But yeah, I'm gonna just discuss a few problems. The only issue I have with this show, and it's real obvious, because there's certain characters that don't fit. For example, Leroy Smith. Leroy Smith was never in the third King of Iron Fist tournament at all. Yes, these characters all fit in. These are all characters from Tekken 3. Because Ling Xiaoyu is the, I think she entered from our master. Her master is Wang. And she enters. Actually. Yeah, Wang is her trainer, but she enters. Well, I don't know if it's Wang. I might be, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, Ling Xiaoyu enters, because her and her Jin and Harang are all going to the same school. Yeah, these characters all make sense. Kuma is Heihachi's pet bear and his friend. Paul Phoenix is actually one of the fighters actually survived with Nina Williams. Nina and Paul were actually a part of the previous King of Iron Fist tournaments. They were actually in the motion picture too, and they survived. But this guy here was never in the timeline at all. In the earlier Tekkens, he was never featured in those games. Leroy Smith is somebody that don't get into. He's Tekken 7 basically. He's way into the future. I don't know why he was in here. To me, that should have been Eddie Gordo. Because Eddie Gordo was the one investigating the Mishima Zaiba stew, because he found out that Kazuha was the one who killed his father. Eddie Gordo's main reason for entering the third King of Iron Fist tournament, which he was introduced, was because of Kazuha. Because in his ending, he come to find out that it was Kazuha. Now, Kazuha looks like Jin. They're truly father and son. It's like watching Goku and Bardock, basically. So yeah, that should have been Eddie Gordo. I don't know why they didn't have Gordo on here. That don't make an ounce of sense. Then that's my question. Whoever wrote this, again, they gotta explain that. Like, why would you leave off Eddie Gordo, the capoeira dancer? That's not hard to animate neither. If you can't animate Eddie Gordo in a cartoon, you got no business being an animator. I'm just gonna flat out say it. Because Leroy Smith kills off the entire time, like he kills off the tournament. He don't belong. And there's other characters that don't belong neither. For example, martial law. Martial law did not compete in Tekken 3. And not because Orga was looking for him. He was actually one of the lucky ones. Martial law was one of the fighters that Orga didn't get the chance to find, or he didn't get to. Orga didn't make it to him. Plus, on top of that, martial law was running a restaurant. He had businesses. Because if those who saw his Tekken 4 storyline, he was broke. He was dead broke in debt. Because he had went bankrupt and he was in a lot of debt. So Paul had to encourage him to enter so he can get that prize money. But at this time, martial law was busy running his restaurants. He's running his businesses. So his son, Forrest, entered. Forrest Law should have actually been in this shoot. He should have been in this TV series. He should have been in this show. Definitely. And just a side note, Forrest Law needs to be in the next Tekken 8. Not Marshall. I'm done seeing Marshall. I want to see some more Law. I want to see how Forrest grown. You need to have Forrest Law in the game. We don't really need Marshall anymore. Understand it's Paul Phoenix's best friend. But remember, in Tekken 3, Paul started training Forrest anyway. They became close. Paul would have Forrest ride with him on his motorcycle and they trained in that dojo. Paul took Forrest under his wing. So Forrest Law would have been perfect for this movie. Because he fits in. Even Lei Wulong. Right? Matter of fact, let's talk about it. Here's the issue with that. Now, this was the cast of Tekken 3. Okay? So pretty much Brian Fury, this guy here. Why wasn't Brian Fury in Tekken 3? I would have Brian Fury in there instead of that guy with the ponytail with the pants. Like instead of Trevor, like that's another thing. Trevor Murdoch, Steve Fox, they don't belong in Bloodline. They don't. They were not in the timeline. Those characters weren't introduced into the next King of Iron Fist tournament. They were in Tekken 4. They were not in Tekken 3. So again, we should have Brian Fury in there. You should have had Lei Wulong. Lei Wulong was actually in the movie. He's in the first Tekken movie. Lei Wulong, again, would have been perfect. Since he was actually the cop that was investigating Hihachi anyway. Like, I would have had Lei Wulong fighting Jin in the first match anyway. And it's just a spoiler alert just for those who didn't watch the show. I don't like to really do spoilers like that, but I'm not gonna go too much into detail. You can watch that movie, you watch that show yourself. But Lei Wulong should have been in here. I'm dead serious. It should have been Lei Wulong instead of Leroy Smith. And like I said, Eddie Gordo here played a very important part in Tekken 3 because he found out that Jin's father is Kazuya, that killed his dad. That man should have been facing Hihachi. Actually, instead of now, Julian Chang makes sense. She was in there. Julia Chang entered because Hihachi stole her mother's pendant. That pendant was jacked from her mother. That summoned Org. Org came from that pendant. Hihachi wanted enough fighters to fight so they could draw out that energy so Org can resurface, which he did. So Julia Chang makes sense. When she's fighting to get back what was stolen from her mom. But Lei Wulong should have been here. Eddie Gordo and Brian Fury should have definitely been in Bloodline. To leave those characters out there, you screwed things up. It's just not adding up. It don't make sense. That makes Bloodline get a bad review from other people who don't like what they see. Now the characters they did in here, they did have Kuma like we see. Kuma, they had Nina, they have Yoshi Mitchell, Paul Phoenix, Jin, of course. Adam Williams was actually in there too. But even Gunjack. Now I understand that Jack is pretty much a unit, an army unit. There's multiple versions, there's multiple Jacks throughout the entire series. But I would love to have a machine in there like Gunjack with his own personality. He should have been in there. But yeah, and those are characters they left off. Of course, we ain't gonna see no Mokujin. Now Mokujin appears in another Tekken movie. I think Mokujin appears in the movie they did in between Tekken 2 and Tekken 6. Because there's hundreds of Mokujins. Of those tree stumps. Yeah, there's multiples of that character. But that character didn't make it in Tekken 3. But yeah, Brian Fury, Eddie Guerrero, and Lei Wulong should have definitely been in here. So that's the one thing I don't like about this movie. And that's all I like about this show. And it's bad enough this TV show only has like 6 episodes max. It needs way more episodes. That's the problem. There's more to the story. Like I said, Eddie Gordo should have entered. You should have talked about Nina Williams and her reason for entering. And because again, they all want Heihachi. That's another thing. This man here, they all want to take this guy down. Lei Wulong should have definitely came back since he resurfaced. And Lei Wulong was investigating the Mishima Zaiba stuff anyway since the first movie. He should have came in there. And it was Julia who explained to Jin that it was Heihachi that was responsible for a lot of people's death because he was summoning Org. So you've come to find that out. Org wasn't just Org got released because of Heihachi. That's what that was. Heihachi trying to experiment with that pendant, and he summoned that creature. But yeah, there's certain characters that should have been in there that were left out. But overall, I mean, I like the fight scenes. The action was good. The music, everything tied in well. It's just the problem is just that cast. The characters in that tournament, they didn't make sense. Now King up winding up being the last guy that Jin could summon face. That King is strong. King is definitely strong, but he didn't look like this at all. The way King looks like on here was not the one from the movie. The one from the show, the show. The show looks definitely different than that King, because that King has I think a red eye. Oh no, never mind. That's Armor King. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Armor King has the red eye. My bad, but yeah. All these characters, even this King though, King they did him well. He's beast. King is strong. King is like the strongest fighter in that tournament. Because like I say, him and Jin faced off in for the championship before facing Heihachi. So yeah, King is beast. Matter of fact, one could argue King might can actually defeat Zangief from Street Fighter, which they already did a crossover. But I think King can actually give it to he'll give it to Zangief. He'll give Zangief a run for his money, definitely. But other than that, man, I'm gonna give the Tekken Bloodline. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. The only reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 because there's characters from Tekken 4 that don't belong in here. Leroy Smith and the other guy with the ponytail, the long ponytail, he don't belong in there. Those were Tekken 7 characters. Or Tekken 6. They way into the future. They were not in the third King Arthur's tournament. Tekken Bloodline should have been strictly based on this video game here and having the characters that was actually in the video game. Yeah, to leave Lei Wulong, Eddie Goro, and Brian Fury out the game, that just kills it off. That did it for me. But I still enjoyed it because you at least got to see the battle between Jin and Heihachi. Because everything that happened in Tekken 3 actually happened towards the end of that show. So again, that's what I did like. They did that correctly. But I'm gonna say this, going forward, it needs to be a season 2. Definitely. Of course, this was season 1. They need to make a season 2 if they're not doing it already. Season 2 needs to pretty much show you basically Kazuha's side of the story. Because Kazuha actually survives. I think G Corporation actually resurrects him. They kind of bring him back to life in a sense. Like Kazuha wasn't completely dead. Remember, Kazuha has the devil gene too, so he can actually survive. The only way you're gonna kill off Kazuha completely, you gotta kill off the devil inside of him. Once he transforms in that devil gene is what keeps him alive. So yeah, they need to base season 2 off the 4th King of Fighters tournament, and Kazuha pretty much getting rescued by G Corporation, and how he later on becomes the president and CEO. He also needs to show how show Gene going into hiding, and basically finding a trainer and reinventing himself. They need to show Horang here going into the military, because these two are pretty much like Ryu and Ken. They best rivals, but they're also friends in a sense. And by the way, Ling Xiaoyu was a great character. She was an excellent supporting character. She's pretty much Jun. There's a reason why Jing likes Lin Xiaoyu so much, because she reminds him of her mother. She reminds him of his mother, Jun. That's pretty much Jing's girlfriend, unofficially. She actually has a real crush on Jing, and they both attend the same high school. Yeah, it needs to go into that. Now, as far as Steve Fox, we need to find out how he became her son. That needs to be Nina's story too. But primarily, this bloodline is focused on Jin and Hichache. Now the next one need to be focused on Kazuha. And that Gordo needs to come back. He really do. He need to come back. Him, Lei Wulong, and even Force Law need to come back. Because having Marshall in there, that didn't make sense. Marshall Law was not in Tekken 3 at all. His costume was. I think you press triangle on Force Laws, you get an alternate costume. He wears his daddy's costume from Tekken 2. But no, some of them characters didn't fit. But yeah, that's what it needs to explain. Hihache comes back. Hihache ain't dead yet. Jin pretty much spared him. But he needs to follow the Tekken 4 storyline. And Hihache, Jin, and Kazuha all meet. Hihache hosts another tournament, but again, he wants a rematch with Jin. Hihache has the 4th King of Iron Fist tournament to pretty much get a rematch with Jin. And again, he wants to draw out that Devil Jin. And also, Violet should make an appearance too, which is Kazuha's stepbrother. Heihachi's stepson or adopted son also needs to make an appearance. And Lee was also in the original motion picture, but he was never killed by Org or Orger. But yeah, they need to have Violet in there too. And then I can see Trevor Murdoch and those characters coming back to Steve Fox. Those characters belong in season 2. Yeah, season 1 should have been strictly Tekken 3 only characters. But other than that, I mean, it's a great show. And all the moves, they pretty much replicate all the moves correctly. King's special ability when he slams you like 3 times, they have that in there. I think they have Jin Kazama's spin kick. They animate Harong perfectly. Lin Xiaoyu, these are all they do the actual moves. Even Nina, who Lin Xiaoyu fought in the first round of that tournament. Those characters all fit in well. Now we didn't see Kuma fight. Kuma just makes a cameo appearance. We didn't see him fight at all, but other than that, yeah, it's a great show. But yeah, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 only because the certain characters didn't fit in that tournament. But that's it, y'all. That's just a quick review. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Subscribe. Who's your favorite Tekken character? I'd like to see in the comment section. And like I say, always stay blessed, stay tuned. I'll see you